Chapter 3: Liberalization, Privatization, and Globalization. In short form, we call it the LPG policy by the government. Initially, India followed a restricted policy and had lot of trade barriers. Role of private sector was very less, but around 1980 and 90, as India suffered financial crisis, so it had to adopt the new economic policy, which included liberalization, privatization, and globalization. Let's begin the chapter. Chapter 3: Liberalization, Privatization, and Globalization. Initially, after independence, India followed a protected economic policy with restrictions on enterprise, investment, currency, commodity, capital market, and trade. Due to this, some feel that it affected the process of growth and development. But after 200 years of colonialization, India wanted to achieve growth in savings, develop diversified industrial base, struck expansion in agriculture which ensured food security. So this is why protected economic policy was the need of the hour at that time. India crisis in 1991. In 1991, India met with a financial crisis relating to its external debt. Foreign exchange reserves were low and they went on buying petrol and other important items. This resulted in fiscal deficit, low level of inflation, external debt, etc. And India was under the vicious circle of poverty, unemployment, inflation, corruption, inefficiency, etc. The main reasons which are highlighted for this crisis was inefficient management of Indian economy since 1980s. Government expenditures were exceeding the revenue earnings, imports were more than exports, so foreign exchange reserves were going down. Developed policies required to tackle the problems of unemployment, poverty, and population explosion. Most of the foreign exchange borrowing went for the consumption need to meet the consumption need and not for the developmental projects in the country. There were certain steps were taken by the government of India to tackle this crisis. India approached International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, known as World Bank and IMF, and received $87 billion to manage this crisis as a loan. But there was a condition that to avail this loan, India need to liberalize and open up the economy by removing restrictions on the private sector, reduce the role of government in many areas. New economic policy. In the year 1991, Indian government, to overcome the economic crisis, came up with a new economic policy. The main objectives were reduce the inflation rate and fiscal deficit, improve the balance of payment situation, encourage foreign capital investment, put the economy back on the path of sustainable growth with social justice, liberalization and integrating of economy with the world economy. Need for new economic policy. Our fiscal deficits were very high, expenditures were exceeding the revenues. Balance of payment was unfavorable as imports were more than exports. Reduction of foreign exchange reserves, increase in prices, Gulf crisis, that is the Iraq war created petrol crisis, inefficiency of public sector due to corruption and wastage of resources. Types or components of new economic policy. As the chapter says, LPG means liberalization, privatization, and globalization. The first component, liberalization. that is, rules and laws relating to economic activities, became a major hindrance in growth and development. Though liberalization measures were introduced by the government in the year 1980s, but they were not very successful. So in 1991, it was again gave it was a highlight for the government of India. It is the relaxation of to enable entrepreneurs to make their decision themselves and open freedom to economic activities at all levels, and this became a policy of economic liberalization. Measures taken under liberalization of the economy: industrial policy reforms, exemption of industries from licensing, except the hazardous ones, expansion of industries, freedom of production, removing MRTP monopolistic restricted trade policies, extending the investment limit of small scale industries from rupees 5 lakhs to rupees 1 crore, and free import of machinery from abroad. Financial sector reform under liberalization. For the financial institutions such as commercial bank, investment bank, stock exchange operations, foreign exchange market, RBI controls and regulates financial institutions, decides about the interest rates, nature of lending, but under this step, financial sector reform, the role of RBI was reduced from a regulator to facilitators of financial sector, and now these commercial bank, investment bank were given autonomy to take their own decisions. Aim of financial sector reform: capital market determined interest rate structure, development of stock market, increase in foreign investment, establishment of private sector bank with fulfill certain conditions have been given freedom to set up new branches without the approval of RBI, foreign institutional investors. Trade and investment policy reforms aim to create a free environment for trade, to increase foreign investment and bringing in new technology. As we all know, India followed a restricted policy for around 40 years, so we were lacking in new technology and foreign investment was very less. Measures were taken under this: abolition of import licensing system, removal of quantitative restriction on imports, reduction of tariff rates, strengthening the export promotion structure, withdrawal of restrictions on foreign investment and foreign technology into the domestic market. Tax reform. Government's taxation and public expenditure policies are called as fiscal policy. There are two types of taxes: direct tax, taxes on the income of the individual and profits of the business enterprises; indirect, levied on commodities to facilitate the establishment of common national market for goods and services. Income tax is a part of direct tax. Sales tax and excise duties are part of indirect tax. Foreign exchange reform to overcome the balance of payment crisis. Measures: devaluation of rupee, convertibility of rupee on the current account, a rapid buildup of foreign exchange reserves, market determined exchange rates based on demand and supply of foreign exchange. Privatization, that is the second component of LPG, transfer of ownership and control from public sector to the private sector. This was done in two ways: transfer of ownership and management of public enterprises to private, and sale of all or some of the assets of the public enterprises. These two steps were done with the policy of disinvestment. In this, a large portion of public sector enterprises have been privatized through the policy of disinvestment. Again, this was done through two methods: selling of shares in select public sector units, strategic sale of public sector units to private sector company. Basic purpose was to improve financial discipline and facilitate modernization. Use of private capital and managerial capabilities to improve the performance of the public sector units. Privatization could provide strong impetus to the inflow of foreign direct investment. The main reasons for the privatization were public sector were incurring losses and they suffered from inefficiency. But privatization was resisted by workers through their trade unions. Privatization without competition will only result in inefficient private sector monopolies in place of the ones in the public sector. Policy of Navratnas. The word Navratnas has come from the Mughal emperor from his court, Akbar, where his 9 gems, the people who were excelling in different fields were given the status of Navratnas. In 1996, in order to improve efficiency, develop professionalism to compete more effectively in the liberalized global world, the government chose 9 public sector units and declared them as Navratnas, and about 97 other profit-making enterprises were called Mini Ratnas. They were set up with the intention of providing infrastructure and direct employment to public so that quality ended products should reach the public. 9 Navratnas: Indian Oil Corporation, Bharat Petrochemical, Oil and Natural Gas Corporation, Steel Authority of India, Indian Petrochemical Limited, Hindustan Petrochemical Limited, Bharat Heavy Electrical Limited, National Thermal Power Corporation, Videsh Sanchar Nigam Limited. Later, 2 more were given the similar status was Gas Authority of India Limited and Mahanagar Telephone Nigam Limited. The last component, globalization. Globalization is the integration of economies worldwide through trade, financial flows, technology spillover, and information network. This was done by by following methods: reduction of trade barriers, free flow of capital, free movement of technology, free movement of labor. Reasons for globalization: rapid improvement in communication media and information technology, rapid growth of research and development, deregulation of money market, free movement of investment making economies interlink, spread out manufacturing processes of large companies buying parts and equipment from other sources. Outsourcing is one of the aspects of globalization. It implies obtaining goods and services by contract from an outside source. It is intensified particularly with the growth of IT industry, BPO call center, record keeping accountancy, banking services, music recording, etc. This has grown recently due to telecommunication links including the internet, the text, voice and visual data. Most multinational corporations and even small companies are outsourcing their services to India as we have abundance of labor in the form of skilled labor and with accuracy in them. World Trade Organization. It was founded in 1995 as a successor organization of GATT, and its aim was to resolve trade dispute, cooperating with other international institutions of economic policy making, enable production and trade of services to ensure optimum utilization of world resources. The WTO agreement covered trade in goods as well as services to facilitate international trade by removing tariffs as well as non-tariff barriers and making a proper and successful flow of goods and services across the globe. Indian economy during the period of reforms. During this period, there has been a tremendous growth in the economy in terms of GDP. Foreign investment were high. Foreign exchange reserves also showed improvement. Export sector expanded in auto parts, engineering goods, textile, IT, software. Employment, it promoted capital-intensive technique of production, uh, though there was some kind of unemployment, but it grew unemployment, but in some sectors it provided employment as well. Reforms. Agriculture. Public investment in agriculture infrastructure declined. Removal of subsidy on fertilizer affected the cost of production. Since the commencement of WTO, this sector experienced a reduction of import duty on agriculture products, removal of MSP, lifting of quantitative restriction on agriculture products. Due to export-oriented policy strategies emphasize shifting from production of domestic market to export market, with focus on cash crop leading to pressure on the prices of the food grain. As a result, in the economy, the rates of subsistence crop went up. In industrial growth recorded a slowdown due to cheaper imports as due to globalization there was free flow of goods from abroad. Inadequate investment in infrastructure was seen. In globalized world, it is compulsory for economies to open up for greater flow of goods and capital from developed countries. Cheaper imports affected the demand for the Indian manufactured goods. Disinvestment. Every year, the government fixes a target for disinvestment of public sector units. Critics say that government is devaluing the shares of public sector units and selling it to private sector. Basically, not for the development of public sector unit, but to overcome the shortages of government revenues. At times when government revenues are very high and government need money to overcome that, they follow the policy of disinvestment. Reforms and fiscal policy. The tax reduction in reform period aimed at yielding large revenue and to curb tax evasion have not resulted in increase in tax revenue for the government. Tariff reduction for raising revenue through custom duty was done. In order to attract foreign investment, tax incentives were provided to foreign investment, also reduced the scope of raising tax revenue, and as a result, the fiscal deficit occurred during that time. This is all about the chapter. Thank you.